This is only for research and not an investment advice. I may hold long or short position in all of the securities mentioned here or may take position in future. Understand the risk and consult your financial advisor before investing. Screenshots from the annual report from last year's annual report, and I've provided you this information. So, in the last few 6 months or so, this percentages would have definitely changed, but this is more of a company analysis for a long-term investment of 5, 10, 15 years. So just take away those things based on this presentation. So what I will do is I will also attach this. So these are high level snapshots of the company, so that rather than you going through all the different sources, you can, if you want to do a quick analysis and make a decision based on that, you can refer this. I'll be attaching this. Okay, so what is their revenue split? So their major revenue split is defense and space optics, which is 50%. Then defense electronics and EMP solutions, and then heavy engineering is 23%. So this is the revenue split. Okay, and in terms of products at a high level, defense space optics, infrared lenses, diffractive grating, large size optics, optic domes, metal mirrors, gyroscope components, optometric. So these are all space related exploration components which they are manufacturing and providing to ISRO and even one of the Belgium based, I think, companies. So yeah, interesting mix, interesting mix. So I'm not sure the space related ones are going to be the major improvement in terms of percentage year on growth, because I don't think so. Government is suddenly going to give a 20% extra budget every year. Uh, so this is going to be fairly decent, modest growth in space technologies. So far as defense will also in this revenue stream, I believe they will be growing in a decent number, not exponential. Then, in terms of defense electronics, they provide rugged control systems, mounted command and control system, rugged displays. So these are going to be required in all the armored vehicles and small arteries, and even uh, uh, arm rockets, small portable rocket machines, and everywhere, right? So these are all rugged panels, rugged communication system, consoles, wired, contain proximity sensors. So these are all small components which will be required for most of the places. As we continue to upgrade our army and air force and navy, this will continue to be required. Then heavy engineering is also their smaller version. So here also they provide form tubes, vacuum braced cold plates, titanium structures and assembly, large heavy dynamic structures, indigenously designed flowing machines, racks, cabinet, consoles, so small components, which is going to be continuing to be required for the future. Then EMP solutions. So this is another one interesting one. So this is a way which it is a future possible threat, wherein if any this is basically detonating a nuclear explosion up in air. So what that will do is, for a very small time, it will give a very high electromagnetic pulse across a big land area. So what this attack can do is, it can literally choke, or it can damage all your electronic items. So this is, it may not kill people, but the damage it can do to all the electronic items, that loss itself will be so huge, and that can be crippling. So what they give is like EMP protection solutions. So these armored vehicles and all those things, they will have these protection solutions wherein I think what they do is they cut off the supplies, I think. So this way, even if there is any EMP attack, you know, the components and of that machine, basically, it can be an armored vehicle, can be protected so that we don't suffer that big of a loss. So these are considered to be one of the future. There are many question marks on this, but yes, so they give solutions for that. Then some niche technology, mirrors, avionic suits, red dot reflexes, border surveillance systems, submarine periscopes, remote control border defense systems, spectral imaging systems. So yeah, so a lot of interesting mix of technology in space and things, small components which are continue to be required, and they are going to grow for sure. But what percentage they are going to go? Are they going to go exponentially? I would say it's a mix of exponential or a good growth, but yeah. And this is percentage financials in terms of last till 31st March 2020. So year on year go 27 percentage in revenue. Earning before interest tax is 19 percentage. Profit after tax 71 percentage, which is good. Order book growth, yeah. So this is the important thing. Order book growth. So their future order book is around 300, which compared to previous years is good. It's a bit strange of a graph which they are given. I mean, 20 is 156 and 21 is smaller graph, so it's a bit strange. But yeah, 40 percentage year on year on growth on order book, so that is good. So positive outlook on that. Then growth in asset is fairly modest. Rest of the components are okay. So good growth in order book, but not an exponential considering compared to maybe a BDL or other places. Again, this is a 6 month old till March 31st. This could have changed significantly, but fairly okay mixed this thing. But in terms of growth, they would, for me, they will be in. I doubt they will be exponential, but maybe one or two sectors they will be exponential, but rather the rest of the ones they will be fairly above modest. So yeah, so that's my outlook on based on this financial. So yeah, so if you see the revenue split up, so you can see heavy engineering is a smaller one, 4,000 crores, and defense and space optics, which is almost double that, and defense electronics. So yeah, so nothing or significant or alarming in terms of the revenue split up and asset and liability. It seems fairly evened out. Year on year growth is fairly okay in most of the sectors, but except for heavy engineering, I can see the revenue has dropped here, and defense electronics and other things have grown. So unallocable is something I know I have to see. Maybe a new business line altogether coming up in future, but yeah. So overall, okay kind of thing. Some sectors are doing good. Defense electronics has grown, as we all know. The allocation, central allocation has gone with defense export ban list kind of coming up. Defense website. So I've gone to the customer tab, and here you can see all the clients of Paras Defense one by one. So what I've done is I've created an Excel here. This is summarizing all the companies, what are the category in which they are working on, and what is their country, what are the main products, and what are the main commentary here on why these companies are going to be the future, or they may or may not be the future. Because the success of these companies will depend on the the success of Paris Defense. Okay, so we also have I have also categorized if it's in domestic, their business is in domestic market or an international market. Okay, so for Paris Defense, one of the major clients is ISRO. So which is in space. We all know about ISRO. So what are the main challenges for ISRO? So ISRO was always involved in building cheap rockets, and they were compared to NASA and other competitors. They were always been one of the leaders in um, bringing space related exploration at a very one fifth or one fourth of the cost. But what has happened with I think for me, the biggest challenge for ISRO is getting the reusable rocket. So, which is something which SpaceX has already done it, and now SpaceX is able to deliver payloads in fraction of the cost than ISRO. So, for ISRO to be competitive and be the market leader in maybe Southeast Asia, Africa, and on Middle East countries, they need to achieve this reusable rocket technology, which I hope in few years they will be able to achieve. And I mean, I'm 100% sure about that. And subsequently, that will also, if the cost is down, they will have more budget to spend on other places, and that will indirectly impact participation in a good way. And the edge of ISRO should be maintained for Paras Defense to do good and continue to be their suppliers in key component manufacture. Other than that, DRDO, we all know they are doing well with lots of technologies, indigenization drive. So they are also a key clients for Paras Defense. So that's a good thing to have. So yeah. Okay, so other than that, BEL, we all know this is a good defense company. They are making lots of electrical components for all across the Indian defense industry. So again, Paris Defense is a good supplier for them. So as you can see, the BL stock has almost rallied 200, 300%, right? So they are going to be continue to be a major player in domestic as well as international export orders. So yeah, so it's a good one. And Cochin Shipyard, they have already majorly into shipbuilding and ship repair, and they have already delivered their first indigenous uh, um, aircraft carrier, and they are going to be continuing to do well in shipbuilding and ship repair. And Paras Defense has good contribution in that. So if you see in shipping, they do supply some kind of high I mean, the rugged instruments, right, which they need to sustain the high pressure and specialized uh, scenarios, right? So in shipping and especially in submarine technology, India is going to continue to do well, because if you see, we have one of the biggest coastlines. We don't have that much threat from the coastal line, but we do host a big coastal line, so which we have to guard it. So the customers are not just going to be the navy, but it's also going to be the coastal patrolling units of various states, or even the centers, right? So they are also going to be continuing to have lot of orders, and also I'll go through the next ones, yeah, one by one. And HAL, we all know HAL is doing good. They are done quite decently with their Tejas, but yeah, they are still looking for that export order. So hopefully they can get that export order, one or two export orders, maybe from Argentina or Egypt, or for their trainers in some other countries. And I'm sure in next 1 year they will card close one or two export orders, and once that is done, that will be a big change. And then once that is done, they will have all this TED-BF, AMCA, Tejas Mark II. So they will have that non-stop cash revenue going on, which they will invest in R&D, and that's how they are going to progress. So HAL is, I'm very bullish on HAL. GRSC, so this is another shipbuilding company which is this is from Kolkata, if I'm not wrong. So they do assembly and overhauling. So they have one MTU diesel engine. So these are, I think, Rolls-Royce diesel engine, ship diesel engine overhauling and testing facility, and they are going to be their key suppliers in India to do that. So yeah, that's also decent market, and being Paras Defense being a supplier for that, so it's a good thing. PDL, yes, missile technology. So Paras Defense, I think, is I'm not exactly sure what all components they provide to them, but yes, seekers and laser technologies and a lot of stuff. So BDL share again has rallied more than 200, 300 percentage. So as you can clearly see, they are also getting export orders. So in future, they are going to get a lot of export orders from Middle East, Africa, and Southeast Asia. So very bullish on BDL. BrahMos, obviously, we all know it's a super success story. It's going to be continuing with the Philippines export orders and many other export orders to be coming in then. So, Paras Defense continuing to be the supplier is a very good thing. Then you have got this one. This is National Aeronautical Laboratory. So CSIR. What's it? So these are the this is the company who has built the Hansa aircraft, and they are kind of like a DRDO. So they design stuff, majorly prototype it, and then they outsource it to other companies to build on mass. So I'm not sure how successful these will be, considering other competitors like from China and other places. So I doubt they are going to be. I mean, India, maybe they can be good in the smaller aircraft. They could get some success. Obviously, bigger, I don't think anytime soon. But yeah, let's hope for the best. Okay, and next, Electronic Corporation of India. So these are also one of the things which they do is for nuclear sector. They do control and instrumentation product, and for defense sectors, they do missile support control, command central, LCA jammers, etc. So, yeah, and also for commercial sector, they also contribute in electronic voting machine and creating those things. So it's going to be a decent market. I don't think so. This is an export driven one, but yeah, I'm not 100% sure on that. Then Goa Shipyard. So for them, their main business is petrol vessels. So which is going to go up. Shipyard. So they are into shipbuilding, submarine repairs. Then you have Indian Institute of Astrophysics, so not much information on that. Mascot Shipbuilding, so they have done decently over the past, and they have some issues with underutilization of their submarine building capacity, which they are not getting orders. So hopefully, if they get some more orders from Southeast Asia or some other countries, they will be doing good in future. I'm pretty neutral about it as of now. Then you have National Physics Laboratory, Ordnance Factory Board. So these are going to be continue to have supply explosive and ammunition. So hopefully their reforms will help in future. Samir is a research-based company. I'm not sure much about it. So, and the next one is so these are the main ones. So the Israel-based companies. So Israel is going to be continuing to be the big one of a major defense exporters to many of the Western countries and Southeastern countries, because they provide much better solution and a cheaper solution than many of the Western counterparts. So for Israel aerospace industry, first is Barak Defense, so which we India also have. Then Heron UAV, this is also something which India has, and we are going to be co-producing it and continuing to it, and cyber defense. So pretty bullish on this. They are going to be a big player in future, and Paras Defense is going to gain from that. Then Elbit System, they provide robotic automation solution and electro-optical space and naval systems. Rafael Defense, so these are this is a big monster of a company. They're the most famous product they have built will be probably Iron Dome, and also they are working on Iron Beam, which is going to be a cheaper solution based on laser technology. So this will have a shorter range of I think around 40 kilometer or something like that. So they are going to implement this in the first range to shoot down smaller ones. It does have a lot of flaws. They have to continue to depend on Iron Dome for the major ones, but in the front they could have a system called Iron Beam also in Israel. So interesting one. I'm not sure there is a use case for that in India because we have a big border to protect. So not sure Dome will be a good solution in India, but for smaller countries, it is going to be good, and they are going to get orders from many smaller countries. Then cybersecurity missiles. So we all know Rafael Defense is a very big company, and they are going to continue to grow. Then you have some. Singapore and Canada-based company. Then you have Safran, which is going to be an engine manufacturer, and possibly they are going to co-develop with India the next 110 kilowatt engine. And other than that, yes, some other Belgium and South Korean company. Then you have Alpha Defense, which is owned by Adani. So they are coming up with some interesting ones. Godrej Boys, they are also interesting company, aerospace, naval space technology. Kirloskar, L&T, we all know how good they are doing. They are going to continue to grow. MKU, and then Premier Explosive and Solar, these are into explosives, creating explosives, and this is for both commercial, that is for mining industry, they have to produce these things. So yeah, so and then TCS and Tata Power and Astra Rafael. So this is again a joint venture. So overall, a very good mix of domestic and foreign clients, and multiple industry areas. So if you see, this is a good mix of clientele, and which is good. But there are the risk for me is bigger companies like HAL, BEL, BDL, who will have a very good cash flow because they are going to get very large orders. When they get large orders, they may think of building many of the subsystems internally rather than buying it from other vendors like Paras Defense. So that is a small risk, but other than that, in terms of technology, they are going to continue to grow into newer places, and all these industries are going to keep on growing. And Asia being the hub, the center for next century. Um, um, the Paras Defense is definitely going to get more export order, and hopefully they can get more similar to Israel companies. Maybe they can get more French companies or American companies, get more customers from there, and then can grow from there. So overall, pretty bullish from the clientele perspective. With the risk, obviously, is losing some of the key ones. I don't know what is the percentage share of each of the customers. If any one or two is having more than 10, 20, 15, 20 percentage, so that's always going to be risk of losing them. So we'll do now is we'll do a comparison with all the peer companies which are listed. So let's do on the PE ratios. So P of TTM means trailing 12 months. So what all are their earnings for last 12 months? Based on that, what is their valuation and the price of the stock? So as you can see, Paras Defense has the highest PE ratio. So compared to Hindustan Aeronautics, BEL, PDL, and even price to book also, they are third from the highest here. And PEG ratio, this is price to earning divided by growth ratio. So here also, I think, okay, they we don't have an analysis on this. So in terms of PE ratio, they are costly compared to their peers. But having said that, if you see in terms of market cap, Hindustan Aeronautics, BEL, BDL, so these are all 81,000, 77,000, where Paras Defense is comparatively just less than 3,000 market cap. So so BL, these bigger companies are not going to double their revenues that easily. But compared to that, a Paras Defense can easily double or triple their revenue in next 3 or 4 years, maybe in 5 years, maybe. Not sure, but yeah, just a guess. So it's not that fair to compare a P ratio of a big company with a smaller company. But yes, the stock is not cheap compared to current valuations, current earnings. But if they can double or triple their earnings, then the P ratio will obviously adjust accordingly, and it will be more in line with the other companies. So so I would say, in terms of price, they are slightly expensive, but it should definitely be in your radar, because uh, uh, it's a good company. So, okay, I'll move to the next one is quarterly result. So this is another good indicator. If you see revenue growth, if you see in terms of revenue growth, Paras Defense has done 67 percentage, but all the companies, if you see BDL, so they have done a revenue growth of year on year of 400 percentage. So that's massive. So compared to that, Paras Defense has been a modest 67 percentage, but that's also a very good one. And this is a net profit. So what is the actual profit they are getting from that revenue? So this is based on the higher the margin, higher you get a profit. So it's not directly, I mean, obviously your revenue has to grow, but in terms, even if your revenues are growing, how good you can maintain your margin. So if you see, Paras Defense has a net profit growth year on of 600 percentage, only next to BEL and slightly better than BDL. So that's a good thing. So yeah, so that's also a good thing from. So you can say they are quite well placed in terms of the revenue growths which they are doing, because they are not that big of a company. Their market cap is 3,000, less than 3,000 crores. So you will see a bigger percentage jump compared to bigger companies, which is normal. But yeah, so let's go to cash flows. I think cash flows also not much information here. Valuations we have already covered. So if you see price to earning compared to other, only Zen Technologies is more expensive, which is a company which is half the size of Paras Defense. So yeah. So I would say, in terms of overall price to earning ratios, it is expensive, but it should definitely be in your watch list, so that if it comes below 500 levels, you should definitely be buying on this. And uh, What I would suggest is don't go much by P. P should not be the only one because smaller companies can grow much faster. So that is a holding. So this is always a very important factor when you're analyzing a company. So if you see Paras Defense here, promoter holding change, there has been zero promoter holding change. So the what you can analyze from this is promoters are bullish about that. Even though the stock is trading at 80 PE, they still think that this is a good value add rather than taking selling those shares and investing in other companies, thinking that okay, the price may fall down to 500 or 400. They are still staying invested, so their share of promoter holding is 59 58 percentage plus, so which is a very good promoter holding compared to other one. And considering that they are not changing their holding, this is a very bullish sign for the company. Okay, now next we will go to FII holding. So if you see FII holding changes, current holding, if you see Paras Defense is just 0.23, and BEL HAL is 5 percentage, 15, almost 16 percentage for BEL. So this is kind of mixed because it's not a big company. FIs are not gonna have very big ones. They will prefer nifty companies over smaller companies. So I won't take much away from the FIS holding of this company. Let's go to our mutual fund holdings. Mutual fund holdings, if you see currently MTAR is 23 percentage, which is a bit surprising for me. But yeah, HAL, the three big players are there. Paras Defense is comparatively much smaller, just 1.25 percentage. Overall institutional holding, this is also a good indicator. If you see, Paras Defense has just 2.82 percentage. So this you can see is more of a retail oriented stock compared to other big players. So there is a much bigger interest in retail in Paras Defense than institutional. But as on when their market cap keeps on increasing, there will be more institutional money flowing in here. So yes, that depends on the pipeline of work which will they will be doing. And yes, so let's hope. I would say the main takeaway from here is promoter holding not changing, even at valuations of ATP. So that is a very good takeaway from this. Let's talk about drones. So this is also one of Paras Defense business lines. So as you can see, this is a March article. So from Economic Times. So they are going to enter into power line, solar, wind, mining sectors. So all these areas where industrial business case will be there, and they are in general already manufacturing many of the components. So they will. It's going to be they will have edge in couple of areas in that, but those other things they may be left behind, but overall they think they are going to be there, and they are also going to take advantage of production linked incentive scheme. So they are eligible for that. I'm not sure if they have already entered into that, into mass manufacturing of that. And I'll also see this is an article from Rahul Mahajan from their company, which I've got. So here also what they are mentioning is in next 1 year they will be rolling out many of the products, especially in agriculture, surveillance, and defense drones and all this. So defense drones, there will be very strict competition from maybe uh, Adani Defense and other ones which already have joint ventures with Israel and other companies. So it's not going to be easy there. It's going to be tough. But for other use cases, I think they could be in a very good position. But again, this is going to be a risky bet. What they are expecting is this drones will contribute around 30 percentage plus in revenue in next 5 years. So a big bet from them. If it works out, that is going to be the main key factor on this stock giving multi-bagger returns. I think drones is definitely going to be there, but it's going to be a tough competition. So I would suggest research on this, and if you are bullish on this company will achieve their targets on their products, then yes, that should be one of the important factor for you to invest on this. So they did their debut, I think, last year. So it's almost been 1 year, and I think the issue price was around 175. But they did a stunning entry with almost it shooting into 400, 500 levels, and then going at crazy levels. So as you can see, it almost touched 1,200. So this was never going to be sustainable at this levels because I mean, if the promoters are thinking a valuation of 175 and okay, double the valuation, it's fine. But going at this level was never going to be sustainable. So obviously, that retail frenzy came down, and then it went down to a more realistic level of 700, 600. So this has been pretty flat for uh, in 700 levels from November to till now. Okay, so thing is, many people would have entered at a higher valuation. They may be feeling frustrated at this point of time seeing the losses, but overall, it has done well in last 1 year. It has not gone down below 500 levels, I think. So yeah, so even though they are a 3000 market cap company, they have done decent level. So as I have shown you in the previous screen, I think overall mixture of the clientele is good. I don't think so they may be having an exponential growth. So if you are expecting an exponential growth here, I would not suggest this. But if you are looking for a decent return, I think definitely this will be a company. I would not suggest this company if you don't have other exposures in defense company. I think there are much better companies, safer bets in defense in rather than Paras defense. But if you have two, three other companies, if you are well placed in maybe ABL, BDL, and also some things in shipping, Mazgaon Dock or something, and you want to improve your exposure to defense, I would definitely suggest this. Please do not go and buy this. Okay, so as you know, the PE ratio at this point is almost 90. But as I've said previously, don't go much by PE because smaller companies can have costlier PE. So what I would say is add one or two stocks now. Keep on seeing overall market as expensive. I don't expect a big fall in market. Indian market are going to be fairly stable. But if there is a war, especially on China, Taiwan, then it is definitely going to crash. And then if that happens, definitely keep on averaging out. Mm, I think 500 levels would be a very good entry point here. But if if there is not a market event of any crash coming up, I doubt it will go down 500 levels. This is a retail space favorite stock. It doesn't have much institutional holding. So, but yes, after a point, retail investor may start dumping it. There could be some event triggering that. I would accumulate stock slowly, but my investment horizon will be 5 or 10 or 20 years. So I don't mind maybe a 700 levels or 500 levels at this point of time. So, but I will not go all out. I will keep on slowly accumulating it, but I won't go much. This thing, obviously, being a 3000 market cap company, there are risks, which I've already previously discussed, where the bigger companies will do most of this stuff in house rather than outsourcing it to Paris. So if you have a longer horizon, 5-10 years, and provided you have other decent exposures in defense and you are okay to take some loss here, I would say you can go it. But if it's something you want to enter in a defense company and this is your first stock, I will not suggest this. So that's my overall view on this. Again, consult your financial advisor before doing any investment. This is not an investment advice. This is just for research and education purpose. So thank you. Thanks everyone for this one. So